I'm about to show you what's going to happen in Toronto real estate for the next 6 months. And even though we don't have a crystal ball, I can confidently show you with some of the data from the last 20 years of what we've seen from November through May, year after year after year. I'm Michael Ouzas. I'm a realtor here in Toronto. If you find any value in this video, hit that like and subscribe button to get this out to more people just like you looking to learn about the Toronto real estate market and specifically what's coming in the spring market. I found this super interesting when going through some market data, and essentially all these dots that are highlighted are the months of November dating back to January of 2004. So the last 20 years of data. I could have gone even further back, but I figured 20 years is a pretty solid sample size to show where exactly properties sit from a new listings perspective in the market for the Greater Toronto area. I did pull the same data for the city of Toronto, and it was basically the same style of chart. So just figured we'd go here for the Greater Toronto area. And if you take a look at new listings, we're hovering anywhere around kind of that 10,000 mark going forward over these 20 years. And you do see some ebb and flows here, but if this is 10,000 here, kind of right across the mark all the way. One thing that stood out here was that if you look at the month following November, which of course is December, and in Toronto real estate, a historically slow month, look at these tipping points down here. And I did highlight them here. These are all the months of December dating back to 2004. Ultra lowest time for new listings for the Greater Toronto area. On first glance, you might think, well, that's pretty obvious. People generally have holidays and things like that and maybe aren't too excited to list their property in the month of December. And that is definitely true. If there's a seller looking to sell and they contact me to list their property in December, first question will be, do they need to sell or do they have the time to wait until the spring market? If they do have the time, then we'll most likely wait until the spring because generally that will bring more buyers to the table. Now let's take a look at what we see from December through May each year. I've highlighted all the months of May across the board, and what we see here is that from December to May, you generally have the biggest uplift in listings for each year dating back to 2004. And I don't think we're going to see any difference moving into the next year. If we look at the new listings, even dating back to 2004, we'll see January, February, March, April, May here going from basically 2,000 new listings in December up to about 7,000 in May. And that was in 2004. There were some years where we saw even bigger jumps, but overall looking in and around kind of that 2,000 to 3,000 new listings in December, heading up to almost 7,000 listings in the month of May. There are some odd years here. Of course, 2020 was an interesting year because in March, everything shut down. But after that, we did see that number of listings jump up. May was somewhere down here. But in the last 4 years, we have been seeing pretty consistent results from new listings from December through the month of May. You may be wondering, what does that mean for you if there's all these new listings coming to market? Well, there's a couple things that it could mean if you're a buyer looking to make a move. The first one is that generally more listings present more buyers, as most buyers have New Year's resolutions. They've maybe had holiday conversations on what they're looking to do in the real estate market. And those buyers will start to enter the market in the early months of the year, ready for the quote unquote spring market. What we've been noticing with our buyers that have had the most success is generally they start this process earlier. And that's why I'm making this video here in November, because I felt it's a good time to take the 2 months between now and the end of this year to really get ready. So when those properties do come to market in January, February, March, you'll be way further ahead than someone looking to get the process started in January or February. If you took a look at the buyer video structured specifically for the A to Z process for buyers, one of the things I mentioned was how it takes 4 to 6 months for most buyers to go from getting the idea to getting the keys to their property. That includes getting pre-approval, that includes the property search, and everything in between from making offers to the closing, which could take about 60 days on average. I did think it was great to put this into chart format so that you could see exactly what we are seeing from the data over the last 20 years. And I do anticipate that we will be seeing the same thing over the next 6 months. Hope you find value in those charts and seeing what exactly we've been seeing in the last 20 years when it comes to listings and maybe getting those processes ready to go. If you are considering making a move in the spring market and you want to book in a New Year's strategy call, I am opening it up to 3 calls per week. And you can click a link on that first link in the description down below, which says New Year's strategy call. And on that call, we would get things set up so that as these new listings do come to market in January, you'll be more ready than ever and not feel like you have to rush to get into the spring market, as you'll be a month or two ahead of everybody else. So click that link down below and let's jump on a call. I'm Michael Ouzas. Thanks for watching.